How well do you manage your money? Well, how do you answer that? Stay tuned after that. Hello, I'm your host Zack, and this is the last from. Hello, I'm your host Zack, and I'm gonna help you. Action. Hello, I'm your host Zack, and in this episode, I'm gonna help you answer your questions on your PAP form, how your disability affects you, how you handle how you manage your money. This is the last activity in this mini series of the daily living component, and there's another 2 episodes for the mobility components. If you haven't watched my previous videos of how to answer these questions, please click one of the links and subscribe to my channel, please, and click the like button. It helps me and my channel. All my information that I'm providing to you, they're not out of my head, is from benefits and work.co.uk, Citizen Advice Bureau, and gov.uk. So without further ado, let's start it. Question 12, activity number 10. How you managing your money, how you doing budgeting decisions. So what this activity about? Ooh. This activity is about your ability to reliably deal with your money, from working out change to making sure you manage your money so that there's enough to pay all the bills. If it takes you a long time, you can't do it safely to a reasonable standard or as often as you need to, then you should definitely complete this section. The descriptors. What the law says, you score points. 10A, can manage complex budgeting decisions unaided. 0 points. 10B, needs prompting to or assistance to be able to make complex budgeting decisions. 2 points. 10C, need prompting or assistance to be able to make simple budgeting decisions. 4 points. And 10D, cannot make any budgeting decisions at all. 6 points. The law. Remember, words like unaided, prompting, supervision, and assistance appears in many activities and have strict legal definition. In this activity, the following words and phrases also have strict legal definition. And they are: simple budgeting decisions means decisions involve A, calculating the cost of goods, and B, calculating changes required after a purchase. Complex budgeting decisions means decisions involving calculating household and personal budgets and manage and paying bills and planning future purchases. Upper tribunal ruling on effects or of mental conditions in CPAP/1653/2019, the judge made a number of important findings. Requirements in the definitions for simple budgeting decisions and complex budgeting decisions above are cumulative. You must be able to do each of them. So, for simple budgeting, you must be able to both calculate the cost of goods and then calculating how much change you'll be given to meet the descriptor. The judge held that calculating is not the same as knowing, and I quote, the appellant is said to know that 24 tins of dog food cost £8.50. That is not a matter of calculating unless, for instance, 12 tins are known to cost £4.25 and the cost of 24 has to be worked out. I'm already confused. For complex budgeting decisions, there are in fact 5 activities that you must be able to complete: calculating household budgets, calculating personal budgets, managing bills, paying bills, and planning future purchases. The judge held that just paying bill is not sufficient. The claimant must also be able to manage them, which could include such issues as prioritizing which bills to pay in the light to completing demands, or the need to avoid to minimize late payment charges, which I get very often, or the need to take stock or bills which will inevitably be coming up to plan accordingly. The judge also held that, I quote, a household budget may well more complex than a personal budget. How well do you manage your money? With housing costs, utility charges, and possibly the finance of other to be factored in. If you have a condition that affects, for example, your concentration, your focus or your short-term working memory, you may well take more than twice as long to make simple budget decisions. Tell me about it. This may especially be the case where anxiety is also part of your conditions and may be made more pronounced by being in a public space and among strangers. If this applies, then may not be able to carry if this applies, then you may not be able to carry complete the descriptors reliably. Complex budgeting require a great deal of focused attention and the ability to think ahead about a number of different possibilities in order to make decisions to an acceptable standards and in a reasonable time period. Conditions such as ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder, I think, and ADD, attention deficit disorder, often coexist with executive function difficulties which affect organizational skills, the ability to think forward into the future, and difficulties with the concept of doing things with a specific timetable. You may have a budgeting system including direct debits and standing orders set up for you and would be unable to take effective actions if, for example, a payment into your account was delayed. The more evidence, including examples, you can provide that you cannot reliably carry out any one aspect of this activity, the better the chance that you will be awarded for correct points. Upper tribunal decisions on having formations read out. An upper tribunal judge has held that a claimant who has a dyslexia, or who is blind may score points for this activity if simply having the financial information read out to them is not sufficient, even if they don't have any additional impairment. The judge explained that if, for example, they become distressed, flustered, or confused when trying to remember information that has been read out to them and need prompting as a result, they may score points for this activity. Thank you very much. Question 12a. Does your condition affect your managing your money? Only put a cross in the no box if you are sure that this activity doesn't apply to you. You should consider these informations above, including whether the descriptors apply to you, taking into account the definitions and whether you can do it reliably. If you're unsure, try answering the 6 questions under 12b below. Wait, I'm going to read now. Question 12b tells about the difficulties you have with managing your money and how you managing them. This is your opportunity to explain in your own words why you should score points for this activity. Your answer should cover all of the following 6 points. Ooh, plenty. 1. What conditions cause you problem? You need to make the link between the effect of your conditions and the problems you have with managing your money. Otherwise, the decision maker may argue that you simply prefer not to managing money. For example, you may have learning difficulties which have affected your numeracy, or you may have difficulties focusing because of ADD. 2. What are the problems you have? You need to explain as much as details as possible what problems do you have. As we explained in reliably, the most important word of above, you need to include details about time. Does it take you more than twice as long as other people? Safety, is there a danger to you or anyone else? Standards, how well can you do it and does cause you issues such as pain, fatigue, or breathlessness? D, repeatedly, can you do it as often as is reasonable required? The form explained that help includes help but you don't need. The form explained that help includes help you need but you don't get. So if you manage to in shops because you don't have help but you need the shop assistant to tell you whether you have enough money for it. So if you manage to your household budget yourself because you don't have help, but you frequently get into debt because you haven't realized you should put money aside to pay for things, for example, then tick yes and give details in the extra informations box that you're gonna see on your form. You should include details of any problems you have with adding together the cost of 2 or 3 items when shopping, working out how much change you should get, working out weekly budget and stick to it, making money last until your next payment, setting aside money after each payment to meet future bills, avoiding buying items if you know you will be in serious financial difficulties if you do so. If you're currently in or have previously had serious financial difficulties because you find it difficult to manage money, it may be worth giving details on the form. Have you ever been taken to a court, had property repossessed, services cut off, or lost your home because of money problems? Bear in mind that your problems with budgeting decisions needs to be connected to physical or mental health issues rather than just not being very good with money. So this is important. So if in case that you have issues with money, don't assume that it's because of your mental health. You have to connect it how is due to your mental issues that you have these issues. That makes sense? 3. Do you use aid or appliances? Aids and appliances are not relevant for this activity. They are not mentioned in the descriptor. 4. Should you have help from another person? Help include help but you don't get. So, for example, if you attempt to manage your own money and you get seriously into debt or fail to pay vital bills because you don't have the help you need, give details. Help can be in the form of prompting, supervision to keep you safe, or assistance. 5. Is there a particular time of the day when you have problems? If there's a time of the day when you need to do an activity but you can't, then you should score points even if you can do it any other time of the day. If you have sufficient concentration to make simple budgeting decisions first thing in the morning, but by afternoon you're too fatigued, we would argue that you should score points for being able to do so. 6. Do your ability vary? Is your condition affects you in the same way all the time? It is important that you say so. If your condition is variable, it is equally important that you explain how it varies and how this affects what you can do. To get points, you need to show that you are affected for more than 50% of the days over a 12-month period. If there are usually period of days, weeks or months where you are unable to do an activity, then explain this and give the best estimate on how much of the time this is. Although they are used repeatedly on the PAP2 form, don't use the word good day, as we said before, unless there are days that you have no problem at all, because this is what the DWP are likely to take them into means. Sample answer. Try answering the 5 following questions. What conditions cause you problem? What are the problems you have? Did you have help from another person? Is there a particular time of the day when you have problems? Do your ability varies? Example number 1. So what conditions cause you problem? Because of learning difficulties, I have problems with numeracy and with planning ahead. 2. What are the problems you have? Although I can buy things in my local shop, that is because they know me there and will help me to find the right money. I can manage to have over the correct money for a single purchase, but I am not able to add up the cost of 2 or more purchases or to work out how much change I should get. 3. Should you have help from another person? I never deal with household bills because I will not know what to do. This is done for me by my carer. 4. Is there a particular time of the day when you have problems? My condition doesn't vary throughout the day. And 5. Do your ability vary? And continue from there. My condition does not vary through the day or from day. Sample number 2. Because of ADHD, I struggle with poor organization skills. I'm unable to focus or prioritize and take risks. I can't prioritize which bill is important and often forget about paying bills. I make impulsive purchases which gets me into trouble. An example that is, although I am on a low income, when my universal credit comes in once a month, I will often spend it all on the day it arrives. Once recently I spent all on craft material. It does sound like me, this example. Although I have not completed any of the craft project and was left without money for essentials for the rest of the month. I need someone else to manage my budget and make sure that my bills are paid. I also someone to accompany me into shops and monitor my online activities so that I don't make impulsive purchases that I can't afford. I have these problems day and night, every day of the week. And example number 3, I suffer from severe depression, which which means that I feel overwhelmed by day-to-day tasks. I can't face looking at my bank balance or dealing with my bills. I become tearful and overwhelmed if I try. I have difficulty concentrating on financial matters. I am very anxious about my financial situations. I need someone else to help me manage my finances. My tenancy support worker checks my bank statement and set up a payment for all my bills, as well as making sure that I have enough money to pay for food each week. I can't face dealing with my financial matters at any time of the day, any day of the week. And that was the last of the daily living activities. There's another 2 episodes left for that will be for the mobility activities, and it's planning and following a journey, and it's a lot, and moving around. I'll try to do it as soon as possible because I had some requests just when will be the time to upload everything. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you have found this video helpful, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel to get notified when I upload the next video. I don't upload many videos, so don't worry about that. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.